Kenyans or Africans in the diaspora, if we are so tired of being here in the US, how come we don't want to go back home? That's the question that I've been asked in the comment section from the video that I did about being tired and exhausted due to the rat race and chasing the American dream, and also parenting from an African point of view, parenting American kids. So let's talk about why we don't go home, or we can't go home, or we don't want to go back home. So from the people that have sent me messages, a lot of people say they've been here more than 20 years, 30 years. Somebody said in 3 weeks or in 3 months, she'll be here 50 years, and she's now deciding that she wants to go back home. They have made investments back home, they have businesses, and they have made it so that they are able to go back home. But let's talk about why we don't go home, we don't go back home, why we cannot go back home, or why we do not want to go back home. Let's talk about that. So first of all, it's the fear of kuongelelewa. People will talk about you. People have this mentality that when you come to the US, you have a lot of money. You're making a lot of money and you're supposed to have made it, and going back home signify that you are a failure in the eyes of the people, not in your eyes, because you know the reasons why you're going back. The other thing is that times have changed. Some people left Africa or Kenya when years ago. So if, for example, you left the country, your country, like 20 or 30 years ago, there's a fear that when you go back, you won't be able to align or understand or catch up with the system and the politics and the way of life of that place. So that makes some people hesitant to go back home because they don't want to start afresh. Remember, when we came here, most of us had to start afresh because we had different careers back home. Some people were in school, so they had not started off in their job or in their careers, so they came here and started from scratch. And so many people don't want to go back home and start all over again. The other thing is people feel like when they go back home, they're going to be exploited by the family members. And because of the first reason that I said, that there's this perception or there's this assumption that when you come to the US, you have a lot of money. And like I said in my first video, it's tough. Sometimes the money is there, but also the cost of living is very high. So you find yourself in what I call the rat race. It's like you're chasing your tail every single day. So people have mentioned about starting a business in the US, and this video is just for the immigrants, the African immigrants who are either newly naturalized, or they got a visa, diversity visa, and they are working here, or they got a work visa. So this is like for the new immigrants. So a lot of people are saying start a business, you own a business, the 9 to 5 is not gonna cut it. So have an entrepreneur mind. And that's the only way you're going to succeed, because the taxes are fair than being employed. The employees get taxed highest, so they don't get to take home as much as they earn. So it looks like the money goes back to the system. You know what I mean? So there are very many factors that make people not want to go back home. So what do you think? Do you have reasons? The people who have already gone back to Kenya, how did you do it? How did you plan? How long did it take you to plan, not necessarily Kenya, even back to Africa. So if you came to the US and then you planned to go back and you ended up going back, how did you plan that? How long did it take you? What did you do? Do you mind sharing with people so they can benefit? Because since we opened up this conversation, there's a lot of information coming to light. And it's important that we help each other and we share so that we don't all die of depression in this country. So it's not just me, it's just for other people that have benefited from me talking about what I'm going through here in the US. And I hear people saying, oh, that was brave of you to say that. But then everybody from the comment section pretty much has been going through it. So I'm like, why is it that we are embarrassed to talk about it? Is there a stigma that is attached to people talking about their struggles? Because we're not going to struggle forever. If you realize that you're struggling, then you start strategizing on what you can do to get yourself out of the mess. But when you speak up, I feel like when you speak up, you can also help one extra person and save them from something, getting into depression or high levels of stress, which is not good for you. So thank you for your participating in the conversation. Today we are asking, how come it's so difficult for us to go back to Kenya? If life is so difficult here, how come we are not packing our stuff and going back home, regardless of where home is, back to Africa? What are some of the factors? What are some of the reasons that make it impossible or difficult for us to pack our things and go back home if life is too hard for us? Those are some of the questions that we've been asked in the comment section. So if you guys have answers, you want to chip into this conversation, let's chat in the comment section. Today's Christmas Eve, and I decided to do things differently, just to take time away for myself and to just meditate, think about things, think about my life and how I'm going to change my ways to better myself and my family. So that's where I'm at. It's just a simple place. I didn't want to be fancy, but it gives me peace of mind. It gives me like time to concentrate on myself, because sometimes you have to step away from all the noise in order to internally search yourself and see what you can do with your life if life has become, if life is kicking your butt. So you gotta step away and look internally to see what changes can you make. So let me know in the comment section what you think. Why are we not packing up our stuff and leaving if life is so difficult in the US? Let's chat in the comment section.